Morning, folks. Today's soap is brought to us by the way of Soap Commander. This one here is Eucalyptus and Bergamot. Uh, and I decide to follow up. No, they don't match. Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, Pomegranate Bay. My thoughts was, I've had this one here for a moment, this soap. And my thoughts were trying to figure out what would be uh, an aftershave that would play well with it. And finally, the light bulb came on, and thought came in my head that uh, for my nose, it would be almost like a stair step in that the eucalyptus helped wake my nose up. And for some folks, I could understand, for instance, the bergamot taking the edge off of the eucalyptus, because sometimes the eucalyptus or like a menthol or anything quite like that could be overpowering for some folks, especially if their nose is a whole lot better than mine, which wouldn't take much. But the bergamot would take the edge off of the eucalyptus. And then I thought, just to keep on stepping with how my nose works, that this one here would be a good one to follow up with. And the more I would sit and I would open the container of the soap, smell the aftershave, smell the soap, smell the aftershave, the more I did that, the more I felt like, for me, these would play well together. For other folks, neither one of these might play well together. But at any rate, that's the setup I got going on today. Temperature around here, yesterday it was up in the 60s. Today, I think the high is supposed to be like 58. This is January, so these are great days. That is really nice. I'm sure we're going to pay for it sometime in the near future, but we take it what we can get. And anyway, my nose is just really jacked up today. Decided to use, I have had this bowl for quite a while. This is what I would call a restaurant bowl. It is probably dates back to maybe 50s, early 60s. It's very heavy. It's a heavyweight bowl. Like I say, you can kind of tell by the thickness. It's solid. It has weight behind it. And show you what the bottom looks like. Keep in mind, this is old and it don't get any cleaner than what it is. But on the bottom there, it says hotel. I couldn't tell you if that's the name brand or if it was for hotel use. I couldn't tell you what the thoughts were with just leaving hotel at the bottom. But I've got it whipped up here with this particular brush came to me by the way of Mac Metalworks. He doesn't do this kind of work anymore, but matter of fact, this is getting a little bit thick. Add some more water to it. Really nice brush with a synthetic knot that kind of looks like a badger knot. But it's a good looking handle. And if you're wondering, that's what the bottom looks like. But this scent, like I say, it works well for my nose. For others, maybe not so much. Like I say, eucalyptus can be overpowering for some folks and may not, work well for others. Excuse me. All right, here today, I'm going to start out with setting 5 on the, I was going to say, get the aftershave still stuck in my head. With the Parker adjustable injector here, I'm going to start with 5, then go to 3, and then go to 1, see how that works out for me. And to be honest with you, if you have not followed folks that use injectors and watch the comments, read the comments, whether it's on a forum or on a video or whatever the case might be, I think you'll find that you'll have a wide variety of responses with the injector, and including the blades. They're all over the map. It seems like one end to the other. Some have really good luck, some not so much, and for me it's always interesting to read it, because for me, I don't have me injectors get along pretty well. I have to say that's I don't know why. I think it has something to do with my skin and my beard type right now, where it is at, and that the blade and the way this is set up, injectors I should say, the way they're set up, it works well for me. For other folks, in other words, they end up with some irritations and whatnot, and to be honest with you, it's hard for me to put my finger on what would be going on, because they're so easy for me to use. It just seems, but to be honest with you, these are more natural to use than a DE, and I don't know why. I don't know if it has anything to do with the certain part of me that has that drive of using shavettes and pressure. You got to learn the pressure, the angle, as well as straight razors. Excuse me. Single edges, I've had pretty good luck with. So in a way, I kind of feel for the rest of you that are struggling to get good shaves with an injector, because for me, I get great shaves with them. I enjoy them. And it's just, in a way, kind of sad to hear that some folks just struggle with them. This one here, the more I get to thinking about it, since my Sunday video, I didn't record like I expected to, and so then I shaved with it on Monday. This will be my third use with this particular shaver, but this will be the first time changing the adjustment. The first two shaves, in other words, was in setting 5, the highest setting. And compare this high setting to, say, like a PAL adjustable, for instance. The two high settings are different. This high setting is lower than what a PAL adjustable is, and I think it's probably even more so. I have Schick injectors that are adjustable. I just haven't used them near as much as my PAL, and so my memory as it goes for the high setting and on the Schick injectors it's a little weak, rusty, dusty. But anyway, I think, in other words, what I'm getting at is that this particular shaver kind of hits somewhere in between. Especially, like, for instance, new shavers just coming into shaving period, as well as some that maybe they found injectors a little bit too harsh, and hopefully with this adjustable it would hit these folks in the right spot. I guess you might say for others that have been shaving for a while and have been using the adjustable injectors or injectors that, period, they may find this particular shaver, I guess you might say, lacking a little bit, especially when it comes to the upper settings. Because I have to say, all 5 passes with setting 5, I would say probably setting 5 for me, my experience, and yours is going to be probably different, is that on setting 5, maybe somewhere on the medium aggressive, but down towards the lower part of medium, it's in other words, it's right there towards where mild changes into medium. I would say it's right there. It is medium, but it's on the lower end of that spectrum. And excuse me. There you go, setting 5. For me, setting 5, it's a daily shaver. I can shave on setting 5 every day. For some folks, maybe not so much, but for me, it's I can do that every day. And by the way, this is the third use on this particular blade. And I didn't mention in the previous video, and I probably, I meant to, and I forgot to. I swapped out the blade that was in here when it was shipped. It's just one of those things that, I don't know, anytime I get something new or used and it's got a blade in it, of course, especially if it's used, yeah, that blade's got to go. And being new, this is not the first injector that I got that already had what was considered to be a new blade in there. I swapped it out. You don't know what's going on in the shipping. I have no idea. I don't know. And it's just one of those things that always kind of makes me paranoid about a blade that's been bouncing around. And a shaver. So I have a tendency, just my mindset is to swap it out. The blades aren't that expensive, and plus it gives me an opportunity to test out how the blade exchange, if you will, is working or not working. Yeah, so for some folks, this setting 5 may not be aggressive enough, and for some other folks, setting 5 may be a bit much. I think that's probably the reason why I think this one here, for a number of people, will work out all right if they can, I guess you might say, get used to how much pressure they need to use. I do like using injectors, single edges. They, like I say, they just seem to become natural to me. We'll go ahead and move this to from setting 5 to setting 3, and there's nothing to it. I mean, it's easy to change the setting on it. Eucalyptus does wonders for my nose. Stirling has one, eucalyptus, that, yeah, I mean, just as soon as you open it up, that just opens my sinuses just wide open. Gets them to working rather well. Like I say, the bergamot in this one here kind of takes the edge off of the eucalyptus. Now this particular, I've got links down below for this stuff, but I have a link to Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements and Soap Commander. The aftershave and the soap, neither one of these are available anymore as far as I know. Soap Commander did, I guess you might say, a series, I think, of 3 soaps, and I think I got all 3. I was late showing up for those soaps, and sometimes, life gets in the way and get busy, and by the time I realized that these were available, they were, how can you say, on the way out the door. In other words, on the low supply end of things. And I was able to get one of each of the 3. And this one here is the last one that I haven't used. I think there was 3. There might have been 4. Anyway, they're not available anymore. And I think she was just doing a test in the way of the market to see what kind of demand would be for it. Unfortunately for me, at least I got in on it. But for me, it works well for my nose. I think there was 2 of the 3 have eucalyptus in it, I think. 2 of the 3 or all 3. I can't remember for sure. Since worked well for my nose. Especially with the way it's been here lately. Boy, this morning was really tough. Oh my. Yeah, okay. This is setting 3, and setting 3 for me is really mild. And that's setting 3. I ain't got to setting 1 yet. So if you are a person that really struggles with against the grain passes, this here just might be up your alley. I mean, I have to tell you, boy, setting 3 is really mild for me. Setting 1 is probably going to be problematic for me. In other words, it's going to be too mild. Yeah, this is setting 3 is pretty mild. I trying to think. I don't think I have an injector that shaves that mild, adjustable or not. Boy, that was quite surprising that it moved that much. But that, like I said, that probably will help some folks that are brand new to shaving like this. May not have much growth, or it gets really sensitive. Maybe this might even be good for the ladies. I mean, the handle is fairly long, but boy, setting 3. I don't know if you can see that. And now I'm going to move it to setting 1. Boy, that's going to be awfully darn mild. 3 was pretty mild for me. But when you're accustomed to shaving with straight razors and shavettes and something a little bit more aggressive, I guess you might say more of a blade feel, that that was quite a change right there. Which is what you're kind of expecting when you're got an adjustable, but 3's pretty mild, so I don't know what 1's going to be like. I may have to talk my son into. I've got a number of shavers kind of lined up for him. At one point in time, we're going to talk about him trying them out. This one here probably is going to be one of them. It is I guess you might say, what I would consider something a person could grow with, especially a young one starting out. I know I keep on saying it, but boy, this scent sure is nice. It works well for my nose. Speaking of that sort of thing, it was funny last night. I had a good time. I wasn't able to stay on the call very long. I was on the call with Manny and company, and we were talking about setting one against the grain. Um, well, I guess maybe a couple of weeks ago, he had got Taylor of Old Bond Street sandalwood. Now, for me, sandalwood is not one of those scents that I go out of my way try to get. It doesn't do a whole lot for my nose. The only one that I have in the way of, by the way, this setting one is very mild. Definitely would be great for somebody just starting out, trying to get used to shaving. So that's why there's not a whole lot of blade feel. This would be great for starting out. Anyway, Manny, he wasn't too happy with the scent of Tobbs. Some people really like the scent of Tobbs sandalwood, and he was, had been waiting, and now he's finally got it, and he gets it, and the scent is just not where he thought it should be. And for me, it's hard. I watched the video. I was already familiar with it, but yeah, because some of the guys, are big sandalwood guys, and for me, I'm not, and to be honest with you, compare the sandalwood and how these guys, like the sandalwood, and Manny was so disappointed. And anyway, it was just a funny conversation. But for me, I got really lucky over the weekend. We, my wife wanted to go to Marshall's and Ross, and where I'm at, Marshall's and Ross are just a few stores apart in a strip shopping center. So in other words, there's like 3-4 stores in between them. They're, in other words, practically next door. They're walking distance easily. And I normally don't go into Ross because typically Ross, when it comes to manly stuff, there's just not hardly anything in that particular store. There is in Marshall's, not so much in Ross. Anyway, I decided, okay, I'll just go ahead and go in. And got really lucky. It's the first time I've ever seen it there. And they didn't have a whole lot of anything in the way of manly stuff. But I found Art of Shaving Oud. And that scent is just, it is awesome. And got an aftershave balm, Art of Shaving. First one ever that I've ever got. Haven't tried it just yet. I'll bring it all up. Eventually you'll see it. But, and I got the Art of Shaving Oud. Was about 5 ounces of shaving cream for $6.50, and they got the aftershave balm for, it was either $8 or $9. I can't remember, $7.99 or $8.99. But anyway, just a steal. And it was like, just got really lucky. And then here's Manny's story. In a way, it was kind of that contrast of experiences where he had been looking forward to it and was disappointed, and I got lucky. I wasn't even looking forward to finding anything, and got lucky and found it, and then found one with an awesome scent. That oud is just, for me, oud scents are probably like how some people are really big sandalwood scents. For me, oud is just, I really do enjoy that scent. This is pretty mild, I have to say, but on the other hand, once again, if you got somebody in your family that is going to be starting out or maybe needs a mild shaver, you want to introduce them to something like this, this shaver here is probably it. Matter of fact, especially if they're shaving on setting one, you should be able to get an easy, oh gosh, I would have to say probably 7 shaves out of one blade. This setting one is too mild. I'm going to bump it up to setting 5 and go back real quick over the against the green pass. That one setting is just too mild for me. It's if you've been following Chris for a while, CDB, Chris Bailey, yeah, a while back, we're talking about videos years ago. I remember when he was talking about somebody accusing him of using an air blade. Setting 1, it's not far from it for me. Anyway, that's what setting 1 reminded me of, is folks accusing Chris of using an air blade. And I can understand, because especially back then, And it still might be that way. We're all a little bit older. Uh, my whiskers are mainly white and some black. Uh, and Chris, I think, has more blonde, especially back then. And so it's really hard to see those whiskers unless you get in the right light. And if you're a daily shaver, you're not going to have a whole lot of growth sticking out there for everybody to see. It depends on how you are. Everybody's hair grows a little differently. And I remember, because you think air blade, air guitar, and all kinds of other stuff like that, but I got a good laugh out of that. I have to say, so Parker, adjustable injector. Where's the market at on this one here? It is probably going to be great for some of those that is just starting out, because being adjustable, they can adjust the aggressiveness to their comfort level. Just starting out, the shaver right around, what is it, $30, $33, whatever the case might be. In other words, not really expensive. For me, it's easy to find the angle. It would be, in other words, especially on setting one, it gives them a lot of opportunity to learn how to use the razor before they move on up to a more aggressive level. And even at setting 5, it's not that aggressive in my opinion. Not for me. For somebody else it could be, but not for me. But at least it doesn't scare a new person off that's not used to a blade feel, that's brand new to shaving. Definitely great for those folks. For the seasoned one, unless you got really sensitive skin, you might be happier with the vintage ones if you're really into injectors, because the setting 5 is just not that aggressive. Like I say, setting 5 is more of a bottom end of the medium aggressiveness. You have to work at it. In other words, if you're looking for BBS, smooth and comfortable, good to go. On the setting 5, all 3 passes, not a problem for me. But if you're looking for something a bit more aggressive, yeah, the shaver won't be for you. But I think they did a great job trying to get more folks into shaving this way. You don't want a shaver that's going to be too terribly aggressive. New shavers, in other words, they're scared to death of something like this to begin with, as they're so used to seeing cartridges and whatnot. Excuse me. Something like this will probably just scare the heck out of them. So you don't want anything too aggressive. And I understand, in other words, hitting that market like they did, and it's affordable. I mean, right around the $30 mark, that's pretty affordable, especially considering that how long you're expecting it to last compared to cartridge. Boy, I'm glad I left that a long time ago. I wasn't real happy with those shaves anyway. Once again, nice cooling effect. I'm going to miss this one. I can mix my own, but I don't have another witch hazel that's got menthol in it. I can mix my own. I've got some frost drops, mentioning that sort of thing. Frost drops from Stirling. I can mix up my own witch hazel with menthol in it, but I'm definitely going to miss it when this one's gone. I'm about down to here. I really enjoy that nice cooling effect, even during the winter months. Summer is even better, but even during the winter months, for me, it just kind of helps get those eyes open early in the morning. Wake the senses, right? This one here, like I said, it's not made anymore. I got this right at the tail end. Wasn't real sure how I was going to like it, but to me, it just fits just perfect. Just kind of steps with the scents, especially with my nose. To me, the pomegranate and the bay works well together, right along with the bergamot and then the eucalyptus. what it does for my nose, gets it up and working. My nose picks up that pomegranate and then the bay. Yeah, it just wonders for my nose. Especially, I'm already feeling one side opening up. Got a nose like mine, that's important. It finally opens up where I can breathe through it. Had a great shave. Had a lot of fun this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.